What's up? My name is Jack Murphy, and this is the 36th dividend income report video where I go over what stocks have been paying me dividend, my best and worst performers, and what stocks have been buying and selling. So this is the February 2025 month, and I'm going to start off by going over my portfolio's performance. And in February, we did spectacular. I did a positive 2.74% return, while the S&P had a negative 1.3% return. Dow Jones had a negative almost 4% return, and my difference between the S&P 500 was about 4%. So big month for the portfolio. We go over to my best and worst stocks. You can see my three best were Visa at a positive 8.76% return, Johnson & Johnson at a positive 9% return, and Starbucks had over 16% return in the month of February, absolutely crushing it in my portfolio. So very good there. And then we did have a couple stinkers. Lowe's had a negative 6.69% return. Microsoft had a negative 8.66% return, and Amazon went down about 10.5%. Amazon and Microsoft, at least, these are more buying opportunities, I think. So I did pick up a little bit of them, but overall, not too bad. Now, I did say in my last video that I was going to do a portfolio recomposition, and I just did. So I don't have all of these stocks in my portfolio. I actually sold about a third of them, like 6 stocks, and the portfolio is now sitting at 10 stocks. But I waited the whole month to do that, to think it through, and I did all the transactions where I actually sold and moved the money all on the 28th of February. So I just made all these changes, and these stocks were basically in my portfolio the entire month. So that's why I kept them in here, and their 1 month returns are what happened in my portfolio. But I am still working on that video, organizing it, so that's why it's not out yet. And I'm going to not go over all the stocks I bought and sold, because that's the entirety of that video. So I'm going to try my very hardest to get it out Sunday, but I do have 3 important midterms on Monday and Tuesday. So if I can't get it done Sunday and have enough time to study for those midterms, then it'll come out Wednesday at the very latest, but I'm going to really try to get it out Sunday. So hopefully that can happen. Because I'm not going over what stocks I bought and sell, it's not on screen, but this is actually the first time in 3 years of investing, nearly 3 years of investing, that I've missed a payment in this portfolio. I didn't get the contribution in. That is because I didn't budget well enough for my spring break trip I'm planning, and I needed that $200 elsewhere. So for the first time, I'm giving myself a one-time break where I'm missing the payment. I'm going to definitely catch it up over the next couple months, hopefully by the summer or in the summer. But yeah, we're missing a contribution in this portfolio for the first time. Hate to admit it, but I'm trying to be transparent. Happens. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just make sure you get the next one, and if you can, catch up and contribute a little more to make up for that missed payment. So just wanted to say that separately because I'm not going over that part of the video like normal. Now we're going to go over the dividends I got in February, and going back to that big change that did obviously affect the dividends, but it did not affect anything for February because of, how dividends work. The ex-dividend date was before I made all the sales. So I got paid by the regular stocks in February, and I'm going to get some of those payments as well in March. But for now, we'll go over February, and I won't tell which stocks I've sold. In February, I got my first dividend payment on the 5th from Lowe's, where I got about $1.13. Then on the 14th, I got Main Street Capital and Realty Income's monthly payments, where I got about $5.70. Then on the 18th, I got $1 and change from Procter & Gamble. And on the 28th, I got $3.55 from Starbucks. This brought my total dividend payments for the month to $11.52, which is actually about a 28% decrease from last February. But we've made a lot of changes since then, not including the one I did yesterday. So that's not really affecting it, but it's not even a big deal, really. And as far as my monthly and annual go, I'll explain them now. The new annual is $291, and the new monthly is $24.28, and these are both increases since before I made the changes. To see what made those changes, you're gonna have to watch the next video, but dividends actually are doing better after that recomposition, whereas my previous recomposition, or my first one in August, where I did the first cut to my portfolio, it actually hurt dividends. So we're going to see $300 in annual dividends sooner than we expected, which is pretty cool. And because I'm still going to be getting the regular dividend payments in March from companies, some of the companies that I did sell, I can go over March dividends without spoiling anything for that next video. So my dividend payments in March are going to look like Visa, Johnson & Johnson, Chevron, Microsoft, Main Street and Realty Income, Regeneron, Schwab, and Main Street Capital, which is going to roughly come out to $37, $38, which will be a very good month in the portfolio. March usually is, and I'm excited for the dividends in March. Completely forgot to mention this, so I'm re-recording this part, but I don't know if you noticed, but I said Regeneron paying a dividend in March, and that is because Regeneron just announced they're starting paying dividends, which is a crazy coincidence because I've been buying Regeneron a lot for the past couple months, and they've had no dividend. It was purely just a growth stock that I've been really bullish on for long term, and I didn't expect the dividend to come out, but now they're doing 0.5% in dividends, which is really great. It's better than what I was getting before. Regeneron is my single biggest stock position, so now my single biggest stock position is paying me dividends, which I wasn't getting before, which is really awesome. So now Regeneron is officially a dividend stock. They don't got any 5-year growth rate or any dividend stats or any dividend history. Pretty cool thing there. Didn't want to let that fly under the radar. Cool stuff from Regeneron. If you know anything about March in relation to my portfolio, that is when I started it, or at least started making videos about it. So 1 week from now, I'm going to get the 3-year dividend income anniversary video out, where I'm going to go over how my portfolio has done in my first 3 years of investing, and we're going to bring all the data together. We're going to compare it to year 2, see how I performed against the S&P 500, what are my best dividend stocks, what are my worst dividend stocks, what percent return did I get from all my stocks. So it'll be a really good video. The last one did well, people like that, so I'm excited to get this year 3 one out. But until then, I'll try to get the recomposition video out as soon as possible, and then I'll try to get that 3-year anniversary video out on time, somewhere around the 8th, hopefully before I go on spring break. So yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.